100 all the way down through 11 has been revealed for the NFL's top 100 players list as voted on by the players. And while Dak Prescott slid in at 46, Carson Wentz appears to have been left off the list entirely. Shannon, tell us how wrong this is.
Well, there's no way he should have been left off, Skip. No matter what you think, I'm not saying he should have been a top 20 guy, but there's no way you can have a guy that leads a team to the playoff at the quarterback position and his three top receivers, Deshaun Jackson missed 13 games, Alshon misses 6 games, Nelson Aguilar misses 5 games. His top right offensive lineman, Lane Johnson, one of them, missed 4 games. And you can't say they made the playoffs any other way in saying that Carson Wentz played out of his mind, especially down the stretch. And to say Ryan Tannehill, after 8 games, had a better year than Carson Wentz. Jimmy G was unbelievable. Skip Bayless said, I can't believe. Skip Bayless tells me that Jimmy G cost the 49ers a Super Bowl.
Well, I think a lot of people say that.
I
didn't say that.
I don't know about a lot of people.
Do you disagree with that?
I'm just making my point for my
guy. 3 for 11 in the fourth quarter for like 13 yards.
He was terrible in the fourth quarter. Hold on. Dak Prescott, 46. You mean to tell me, how can Dak be 46 with Zeke Elliott, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, the top offensive lineman, 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen, Zeke Elliott as your running back who was in the 20s.
He was 24th.
And you don't make the playoffs. And a guy misses his 3 top offensive receivers. And he has Miles Sanders is not even mentioned in the ballpark of Zeke Elliott. One guy gets his team to the playoffs, the other guy does not, and he's ranked higher?
Look, he's ranked way higher.
No, it's Skip. Look, I'm not saying that he should have been top 10, top 20. And look, I'm just saying there's not 100 players in the NFL currently, I believe, that are better than Carson Wentz. You can say obviously they're the Skip, the quarterbacks, and you say Brady, and I want Rodgers or Lamar and Wentz, and not Wentz, but Mahomes, Russ. Okay, Skip, I get that. But when I start looking at Cousins and I look at Jimmy G and I look at Josh Allen and I look at Ryan Tannehill, I look at Callis, no way. No way, Skip. But you know what, Skip? I've learned to accept it. That when you vote, when people vote, Skip, you got to be willing to accept the outcome. I disagree vehemently that there are 100 players in the NFL currently better than Wentz. But they've spoken. And that's what Skip told me.
The players have spoken. Carson Wentz did not make the top 100.
I want that energy.
Dak Prescott, 46.
I want that energy. Hold on. It's coming up, Jenny. It's coming up. Let's see. It's coming up in about 3-4 more segments.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we have 2 big issues operating here, and I will address them in order. Okay. I have told you from the start of this list, from the start of this show, it doesn't work not to include every starting quarterback in the top 100. If you start for an NFL team just by virtue of the value of your position, quarterback, you're going to rank in the top 100 players in the National Football League. I'm sorry, you just are. So let's forget for the moment about Carson Wentz didn't make the top 100. Do you realize here's some other quarterbacks who did not make the top 100? Ben Roethlisberger, I get it, he didn't play, but he's still afloat. He's still a member of the National Football League. I'm pretty sure he's going to play this year. So he is eligible for this list, and he did not make it.
No,
seriously?
No, he should have made it.
How about Baker Mayfield? He was the toast of the town.
Hell no.
Baker Mayfield a year ago was it. He was the it quarterback, right?
And this year, and the pre-2019,
you cannot tell me he's not one of the top 100 players.
He was not, Skip.
How about Phillip Rivers? He's long in the tooth, but Indy loves him, and Indy banked a bunch of money on him, and they're betting their whole season on Phillip Rivers, right?
Right.
Not in the top 100? Seriously? How about Matt Ryan, a guy you love from your old hometown, from Atlanta, right?
Yes.
MVP in 2016. And he didn't make the top 100, and he actually had a pretty good year last year, right? Not in the top 100. How about Matt Stafford? I know hurt also, but a lot of people have pegged him to be the comeback player of the year.
Yes.
He's still playing. He's still eligible for this list. He didn't make the top 100. Derek Carr, Jared Goff, Teddy Bridgewater. I could go on. All these quarterbacks who play the most special position in your game, in your sport, didn't make the top 100.
Right.
So we know the quarterbacks who did make the top 100. Like, it's a joke to me. I already told you Kyler Murray is 90th, which is absurd. But then we start going down to 87, Josh Allen, then Tannehill, then Kirk Cousins, then Dak, then Jimmy G, then Deshaun, then Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady up at 14, Drew Brees at 12. So the big three, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees,
all within the top 10.
Didn't even make the top 10. So times are a-changing, as we're talking about. And we know for sure that Mahomes and Russ and Lamar made the top 10. We're just not sure about the order, but I'm going to get, I don't know, maybe Aaron Donald's going to be number one again, and I'll go out of my mind. But it's probably going to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to guess. But the point is, so here's what we do know about the top 100. We know that there are 13 quarterbacks in the top 100. So that means that at very best, your guy Carson Wentz would be ranked 14th. But do you think that the votes had him ranked higher than Big Ben? I doubt it. Or Matt Ryan? I doubt it. Or I'm not even sure he would rank above Baker, but he might have.
Well, Skip, I mean, I'm surprised I didn't know Matt Ryan. I thought he would be in the 60s or something. I just started watching it lately because I'm just like, I'm looking at some of these names. I'm like, wow. I just wish it would have been like, we could have voted on something like this.
Okay.
It'd be interested to see, Skip, how people would have voted.
Okay, well, I got it. So I'm just going to guess that there might have been 5 of these did not make the top 100 quarterbacks who got more votes than Carson Wentz did. So that would rank him about 20th overall.
But Skip, because remember, just in 2018, he was third. He was third.
Third on the list.
On the list. Yeah. And he went from third to 96 in 1 year.
Okay.
And so he goes, so basically, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised, Skip. Now that you think about it, last year he was 96th. And he drops off the list. So, I mean, he didn't have the 4th spot.
Now we get to issue number 2.
Yes.
Carson Wentz. I have told you from the start of this show, I've never been quite sold on your guy, walk it to him.
Yes.
Never been quite sure of him under fire. Poise begins to wane a little bit deer in headlights. Accuracy tends to come and then go.
What did he show you last year in fire?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because you said that he, what was your thing? He played out of his mind down the stretch. Okay, here's what he did down the stretch. He got to play the New York Football Giants twice. Well, listen to me. The first game and the last game of those 4.
Okay.
Giants. They went 4-12. The second game in that stretch was at Washington. They finished 3-13. The third game in that stretch was my Cowboys, who wound up 8-8 and had an abysmal down the stretch. Abysmal.
Is that his fault?
No, but you play whoever you play, but you're playing a bunch of garbage.
If you don't mind me asking, Skip, how many times did the Cowboys play the Giants in 2019?
You know, I think I was in the middle of making.
Okay, you're right. You're making a good point.
Thank you very much. So here are the QBRs of the guy who was playing out of his mind against the garbage left over in the NFC
remember
least.
The garbage.
Okay? Against the Giants in the first game, he had a QBR of 32 on a scale of 0 to 100. Then he had a good game at Washington because they had a big late comeback in that game against a really bad team, and he had a 72. But against Dallas, he didn't play very well, and Dak played worse, and he had a 64. That's scale of 0 to 100. And then at Giants, he stunk it up, and they managed to pull away late, and he had a 40 QBR. That's an average QBR in those 4 garbage games of 52, which is right in the middle of scale of 0 to 100. So QBR says he played average, and you said he played out of his mind in those last 4 games.
Okay, if you don't mind me.
Average.
Okay. You said Washington and the Giants are garbage.
Yep.
If you don't mind me asking, can you tell the people at home how many times the Cowboys played the garbage Giants in 2019?
They played them twice. And they played Washington twice. And they played Philly twice. And they beat the feathers off the Eagles the first time. And then Dak got his shoulder banged up, and he couldn't make a throw.
I thought I was in the middle of making a point.
Yes, thank you.
I thought I was in the middle of making a point. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So, in other words, garbage Giants, garbage Washington. Your Cowboys played those teams twice, so did the Eagles. But when all the marbles, so basically the whole NFC East, Skip Bayless was trying to tell the people at home was a garbage division. So so somebody's got to win this trash division, right? So all the trash is in the middle of the table. All the teams. So Philly and the Cowboys, winner takes all. Your guy died.
I kept saying, how are my Cowboys still alive? They kept losing their way into a deciding game.
What? Hold on, time out. You had a 3-game lead.
Yeah.
And you're talking about how is your guy still alive. You had a lead.
Yeah.
With 5 games to go, you had a 3-game lead, and you got the brakes beat off you. So I'm just trying to figure out how can your guy, with all that talent, was Amari Cooper on that list?
He didn't play away games.
Well, time out, Skip.
He only played at home.
I just want to make sure. So I'm looking at this. Okay, Amari Cooper made the list. You had 2 offensive linemen make the list.
Yep.
You had a running back to make the list. Your quarterback made the list.
Okay, and your point is?
And you didn't make the playoffs. My guy had nobody but Jason Kelsey on the offensive side of football that made the list, and his team got into football. Tell me how, if he is not a top 100 player.
And you told me that my quarterback, who went 8-8 and missed the Pro Bowl last year, and missed the playoffs, obviously, deserved $42 million a year. What?
Skip.
What? I don't get it.
Skip, that's a different argument. That's a different argument.
Yeah, with a different sort of motivation behind it. You want to wreck my salary cap, right? So here's what I know about Carson Wentz. His playoff stats, I'm going to give you the total playoff stats of a guy who missed the top 100 because he should have missed the top 100. His playoff stats in total over 4 years in this league, he is 1 of 4 for a grand total of 3 yards. That's all he has to his name in the playoffs.
Major Skip.
1 of 4 for 3 yards.
You saw Jadeveon Clowney, spear the man in the back of the head. You saw that. You came out here that Monday and said he should have been flagged for that play.
My quarterback would have stood up to that hit.
Hold on.
My quarterback does not get hurt.
You just mentioned.
Most durable quarterback in the league is Dak Prescott.
You just told the people at home that your quarterback made excuses for your quarterback losing down the stretch because he played with a banged-up arm.
Well, just that game, just the Philly game, at Philly, banged-up arm.
Oh.
Didn't practice all week.
Was it banged up against Washington?
Missed Tavon Austin. Cold, just flat-out missed
if
him.
you don't mind me asking, so what was his arm like against New England? What was his arm like against the Saints? What was his arm like against Minnesota?
You gave him Fs for all those games, and then you said $42 million a year.
Whoa. That's a different argument. See, there you go, Skip.
Yep.
See, I see what you're trying to do.
Okay, the players know that on Carson Wentz's watch, Nick Foles won Super Bowl MVP. Right. That's all you need to know. Nick Foles, who busted in Jacksonville, won Super Bowl MVP with the same talent that Carson Wentz was struggling with.
Even the alley cat will find a whole chicken in the trash every once in a while.
Okay.
It was just the same Nick Foles that didn't succeed the first time around in Philly. And then he went to where? The Rams, and didn't have success. And then he was a backup in Kansas City. So let's not pretend that Nick Foles has enjoyed success every location that he's been at, because he's had success once. Well, he had the first time he went 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, made the Pro Bowl. And then guess what? That went away. And then he came back and had the greatest 2-game stretch in playoff history, Skip. I believe that championship game and that Super Bowl
I'll buy that.
might be the greatest 2 games that we've seen a quarterback play. And it's not, and normally we don't see a quarterback like a Nick Foles. Now, if Brady or Manning or Elway had type games like that, we were like, oh, wow, we expect that. But nobody expected that from him. With that being said, all I'm saying is, Skip, if you take away a team's top 3 offensive receivers and his offensive line is banged up and they don't have a running game, and somehow you can make... Imagine if you took Derrick Henry away from Ryan Tannehill and his 3 top offensive receivers. You think Tennessee making the playoffs? Hell no.
So, Philadelphia management and coaching staff was so sold on Carson Wentz's heroic stretch run last year that they drafted Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round. And I don't believe they drafted him to keep him in mothballs or to use him for 2 or 3 plays a game. I told you the day after, or the Monday after they drafted Jalen Hurts, I said he will prove in the long run to be better than Carson Wentz as the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I believe that Howie Roseman, the GM, in his heart of hearts, thinks the same thing. They are not sold on Carson Wentz, or they wouldn't have spent a 2nd-round draft pick on a quarterback last year who finished 2nd in the Heisman and who lifted Oklahoma all the way up into the playoffs, mostly by himself.
Well, I've been trying to find somebody that wasn't sold on me and give me $108 million. Damn. I can't find nobody that's not sold on me and give me that.
Jared Goff got that same money, and he didn't miss. He missed the top.
Jared
100.
Goff didn't get his team in the playoffs. So imagine if Jared Goff missed Cooper Kupp, who was on the team? What's the Brandon Cooks? If he missed him, Robert Woods, all 3 of those guys are out, and Todd Gurley.
Carson Wentz backed his team into the playoffs. He backed them in.
Hold on.
He did. Beep, beep, beep,
Hold on.
beep. We're backing up.
Hold on.
Look out behind us.
Do they put that feature on cars for a reason? It doesn't matter. Can your car get from point A to point B in reverse? So he got there, right? He got to the playoffs.
And then he backed right out of the playoffs after like four throws. He threw 4 balls and he missed 3 of them. Completed 1 for 3 yards, and that's his playoff resume. And the NFL player said, sorry.
Skip Bayless, you've been around the NFL for 40 years, and you heard the coaches and players say, by hook or crook, all we want to do is do what, Skip? Make the playoffs, and then anything can happen because it's one game. Now, all of a sudden, my guy walking to him, he got him in the playoffs, and you want to minimize that.
The NFC East last year should have been disqualified from having a playoff slot.
There you
Just
go.
disqualify him. Just say, close it down for repairs, because it was pathetic.
Would you have felt that
year.
way if the Cowboys had won that division?
Well, they didn't.
Exactly. Exactly.
We had some low moments during some of those games coming back on Monday. I just wonder how Carson feels to not be respected among his peers. Maybe it motivates him, Shannon, in a different way. Who knows?
He's going to be top 20.
Maybe.
He'll be top 20 next year.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. All right, we're going to get back to the list later on in the show, but I want to go back to LeBron because he will be skipping one tradition this year, going 0 dark 30, or as LeBron calls it, 0 dark 23. Typically during the playoffs, LeBron will stay off social media to focus on the games. But the hectic year that is 2020, LeBron said he will not be turning his phone off during this run. He said he has to check in with his family every day, but assured fans he will still be ready to go. So, Shannon, what do you make of this new policy?
Well, because it's very unique. He's not going to have Savannah laying next to him. He's not going to be in the same home as his kids to be able to see them every single day. So this is very unique, and so he has to take a very different approach. Skip, I think the thing is for LeBron is that while does LeBron watch television? Sure, he watches television. I don't believe he goes completely. He watches no television. He doesn't hear anything. But I just don't believe he's as engaging on the social media aspect. I'm sure he talks to his mom on the phone. I don't know if he talks to, maybe D Wade or Melo or whomever he's close to. I don't know if he goes outside of that parameter and talk on the phone, Skip. But I believe that being in Orlando, having a family in California, you got got a teenage son, and you got young kids that they want to talk and to see, and FaceTime is a great feature. So he wants to be a part of that. He just can't go 3 months and say, well, okay, guys, I'm going to the wilderness. I'm going to the wilderness like the Rocky movie, Skip. Remember Rocky with the train for Drago? He went to Russia. He cut off all communication with the family. Well, LeBron can't do that. But I'm not worried about it because, LeBron's that switch. Playoffs, 2018, 34-99. Could I interest you in that, Skip? In 2017, 33, 10, and 8. Could I interest you in that, Skip? And the year, you know what happened the year before?
Wait, what happened in 2018?
He lost.
He said he shifted into playoff mode. Remember late in the year, and then what happened?
That was 2019. That was 2018 going to 2019. Skip, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. See, there you go, Brent. We're talking about right. Jenny asked a simple question. What do I make of LeBron not going 0 dark 30 or not, distancing himself, all that? We understand that this is a very unique situation. LeBron James is in Lake Buena Vista, Orlando. He's at the Magic Kingdom. And so, in other words, his family is not there. LeBron cannot do just go 0 dark 30 and have no communication with his family. That's what he's saying, Skip. But do I believe it's going to impact the way LeBron James plays? No, and neither do you. I expect a virtuoso. Yeah.
If he has his co-star, he might.
There you
shot. Yeah. Okay, are you finished?
I'm done.
Okay. I am sorry, Mr. Sharpe, but for me, 0 dark 30/23 has 0 credibility.
Why?
I am about to shoot lots of holes in 0 dark 30. And for those who don't remember, 0 dark 30 was actually a movie that came out in 2012 featuring Jessica Chastain and Jason Clarke. They actually emerged in that movie. It was sort of their coming out party for both of them. And off that...
Won the Academy Award.
Yep. Off that, in 2013, LeBron opted to take that movie title to sort of sum up his approach to the playoffs. He had already won his first championship in 2012 against the Baby Thunder. The Baby Thunder. And he got a lot of help down the street. Woo, he got big games from Mike Miller, and do you remember Mario Chalmers? It was something. But the point is, he did win his first ring, and he said it's about damn time. And then going into the 2013 playoff run, he suddenly announces on April the 20th that he has activated 0 dark 30, at that point 6, because he was wearing number 6 in Miami, right?
Yep.
And he said in that tweet, "I'm gone." Okay? So it was a revelation. It's like he has found a way to change his life, to shut out the world and go 0 dark 30 and lock in on playoff mode, right? So it was so effective that in the finals, in Game 6, they were in such trouble down the stretch that it looked like they were done. And my team, the San Antonio Spurs, actually had a 5-point lead with 18 seconds left in the game. And down the stretch of that game, 0 dark 30, the revelation, the life-changing experience of LeBron James was so effective that he created 3 unforced error turnovers down the stretch, 2 of them in the final minute, and set himself up to be the literal GOAT of the game, as in lowercase GOAT, as in the blame of the game. He was going to deserve the most blame because he took and missed the 3 to tie the game, and we know what happened after that. Ray Allen saved his legacy. Offensive rebound. Why there was no Tim Duncan in the game, I don't know, because I thought the game was over when LeBron LeBricked the 3. And Chris Bosh retrieves the offensive rebound, kicks it in the corner to Ray Allen. Boom, swish, just as clean. It was the greatest clutch shot I've ever seen in my life.
No question about it.
And it forced overtime. And LeBron was great in overtime against a team that got shot in the heart.
Was LeBron?
He was great in Game 7 against a team that could not get up off the mat.
Was LeBron great in the fourth quarter of Game 6?
He had his moments until it got tight down the stretch, and then he was lousy LeBron.
Skip, we always talk about what we like to provide people at home is context. You never tell the people that the Spurs had a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter. That LeBron James almost...
I just told them they had a 5-point lead with 18 seconds left, and they gagged it.
No. Because they could have been even, or the Heat could have had a lead. But the fact of the matter is, LeBron James almost outscored the San Antonio Spurs by himself.
Okay. So the point is, 0 dark 30 is such a legendary concept for LeBron James. He has discovered, eureka, I found how to do this. Under 0 dark 30, he is 2-4 in the finals, and he should be 1-5 if not for Ray Allen saving his legacy. So it works so well to shut out the world that he's 2-4 in the finals since then.
Hold on, time out, Skip. But think about this. I mean, he's 34-9-9. They lose. He's 33-10-9, and they lose. You make it seem like he's averaging 14, 5, and 6. Look at the numbers that he's putting up.
Well,
Skip, the man averaged a triple-double. Skip, you remember he averaged a triple-double and lost the finals. A 30-point triple-double, and he lost the finals.
He was horrible in 2014 against my Spurs in games 3, 4, and 5.
Skip, he was
horrible.
You know what he was, Skip? I give you that.
Yeah.
He just averaged 28, 8, and 7, and he was terrible.
He was definitely terrible in games
28,
3
8, and 7.
Now let's get to today. So all of a sudden, LeBron now announces no more 0 dark 30. I'm not going to power down my phone. So I'm having a hard time understanding how the new policy is any different from the old policy. And you hinted at this in your opening answer, because just because LeBron keeps his phone on, does that mean that Undisputed is just going to start looping on his phone, even though he just can't stop it, right? Like he keeps looking at his phone because it's still on, and there's that bleeping Skip Bayless spewing negativity, and it's going to mess up his mind.
Yes.
Wait a second. He has to actually hit the phone to go on to Undisputed. He has to say, I'm going to click on Undisputed, or I'm going to click on this website or that website.
Well, he might not be on social media at all.
Okay, well, my point is, it's the same policy as always. Do you really believe in your heart of hearts that in the old days of 0 dark 30 back to Miami, did he go on the road and keep his phone off on the road? No, he kept his phone on just in case Savannah needed him.
Oh, Skip, but see, there you go. I believe 0 dark 30 is more geared towards social media.
Okay.
Yeah, because he got to be, but he has to be able to get in touch with, Savannah has to be able to get in touch with it with a moment's notice.
Yeah, but he talked about, I'm not going to power off my phone, as if he goes into Rockyville, you know, where he's just saying, I've gone to.
It might be a situation he got security and they get it, and Savannah calls security and say, I need to get LeBron.
Well, there's got to be some way for her to get in touch on the road or even when he goes to the home arena. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but he was selling it yesterday as, I've got to be able to be in constant communication with my mom and with my wife and with my kids.
Right.
Well, yes, but you always were. And yet the gullible masses out there, led by you, the blind witnesses, they're all saying, look at LeBron. Is he not something? He is the father of the year. He's the husband of the year. He's the son of the year because he's not going to go zero dark 30 during the pandemic. He wants his wife and mom to be able to get in touch with him. They could always get in touch with him. They're mutually exclusive. You don't, just because you keep your phone on doesn't mean that you have to allow the negativity to enter your psyche.
You take everything to the umpteenth degree.
No, I'm just dealing with the reality of it. LeBron is the greatest myth maker in the history of sports, and it's image is everything, and he is the greatest image maker ever. And I'm in awe of it, but people swallow this baloney. They swallow it whole.
And when someone tells me they're going on a fast, I don't automatically assume they're eating honey and locusts. That's what you do. You automatically assume they're going to the umpteenth degree. You automatically assume all the TVs are turned facing the wall.
Well, I assume if you say you're fasting, you're not putting anything in your mouth except liquid.
No, Skip.
Water.
Oh my goodness, I can't with you.
No, well, seriously, he was selling this.
I've been fasting.
People were buying this yesterday.
I've been on that yak for about 2 months straight. That's all when I was in quarantine, shit, it first started. Number yak.
I'm just telling you, they're mutually exclusive. You can actually be zero dark 30 and keep your phone on. You can keep it powered on.
Well, maybe he couldn't. Skip, you like to work out. You like to eat, celery and broccoli and.
I'm high protein.
Oh, okay, I was there. Okay,
but I do love my broccoli.
But that's the thing, though, Skip. I believe there are a lot of doctors that tell you, Mr. Bayless, you can get the same nutritional if you broaden your horizon and eat different types of protein. But Skip Bayless believes that this is the best thing for Skip Bayless. LeBron James believed saying going zero dark 30 was the best thing for him. But now he's in a different locale. He's not next to Savannah, and his mom is not close by, and his kids aren't close by. So he's saying, I can't do that.
So now he subjected his psyche to all the internet and TV negativity because he's not zero dark 30. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, he's probably not. He's not going to be on social media.
I'm going to call baloney.
He's not going to be on social media.
Baloney.
He's not going to be on social media.
Okay.
He's giving me a special number to get in contact with him if I were to need something in case of emergency. Yes.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. Well, tell him I said hi.
No, I ain't telling him nothing.
Tell him I say hey for real, though. I don't care about Skip. I would like to definitely say hello.
Download the all-new Fox Sports app now.